Over the last 43 years, I've interviewed over 150 U.S. military veterans, persons who were missile launch officers, nuclear missile targeting officers, missile maintenance personnel, security guards who guarded the nuclear weapons facilities, and all of those individuals have told me on tape, either audio or video, that in fact UFOs have routinely monitored our nuclear weapons going back decades, and on occasion apparently have actually interfered with the functionality of those weapons. This is obviously very dramatic testimony from these individuals. There have been also hundreds of documents released through the Freedom of Information Act that back up to some degree what these individuals are saying, that UFO incursions at nuclear sites in general are just a matter of course. The military knows full well they're going on, continue to go on, and have quite clearly decided the public should be kept in the dark about all this. All of the veterans laugh at that hypothesis when the skeptics say this had to be some sort of military exercise to test their readiness. They say, you know, our missiles, 10 missiles, were shut down for 24 hours. It impacted the national security of the United States. If war had been declared by the Soviet Union back when these things were going on, these 10 missiles would not have been able to fly anywhere. Said the Air Force simply would not degrade our capability just for the purposes of an exercise. The FBI released documents to a man named Dr. Bruce Maccabee many years ago, which confirmed that as early as 1948, UFOs were flying around the Los Alamos labs. They were being tracked on radar, chased by jet aircraft. Los Alamos was the birthplace of nuclear weapons. It's where all the scientists worked on the Manhattan Project during the war. So this goes back to the earliest days of the nuclear era. A year after my book was published in '08, I was contacted by a Navy pilot, a veteran who flew in World War II. His squadron was stationed at a place called NAS, Naval Air Station Pasco in Washington State. Right across the river was the Hanford site where plutonium was produced, not only for the Trinity site blast in New Mexico, but the bomb that was dropped on Nagasaki. And he told me in '09 that on 3 occasions in January of '45, even before the bombings in Japan, that his squadron chased away luminous glowing objects hovering above the Hanford site. And a researcher named Jan Aldrich in 2013 accessed documents from the 4th Army Group confirming that indeed unidentified aerial objects were tracked near the Hanford site on 3 occasions in January of '45, precisely what my source told me. So even before the bombs were dropped on Japan, we have UFOs nosing around nuclear weapon sites.